All right, time for a little friendly fire. Whitlock and Shamika. We're going to go back and forth over a topic. Shamika, welcome back. I got something I want to show you. Coco Gauff won the U.S. Open and celebrated with a short prayer afterwards. Let's watch. So that's how Coco Gauff celebrated winning, with an obvious prayer. Somehow, ESPN SportsCenter tweets out that Coco Gauff was soaking it all in, not praying, and people took notice of this. Tony Dungy, I saw, tweeted out like, hey, let me break some news to you, ESPN. She's clearly praying. She stated publicly she's a Christian. I think Ted Cruz jumped on this as well. I found all of this very interesting because we make the point on this show, and others have made the point that, like, ESPN has a problem with Christian values, and I don't know if I've seen a better example of it. A champion kneels down in prayer, obvious prayer, and they make the intentional decision to frame it as soaking it all in. To me, it says everything about ESPN and just how much hostility there is for Christianity.
Yeah, I agree, Jason. ESPN and a lot of these mainstream media networks, they are just anti-God, anti-religion, unless that religion involves the alphabet mafia. At the Cincinnati Open, when she won last month, she clearly said, "I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ." And so she's been very open about her relationship with Jesus. If this were like, her saying, "I want to thank God," like they do with the award shows, sometimes you have no idea what God they're talking about. But she has been very open, very specific. She said she thanked Jesus for covering her. She says she doesn't pray for outcomes, but that she, just prays that her and her opponent will be safe. Like, she's been very open with this. And so for them to try to change it up when clearly she was actually praying or thanking God, I don't see why they would do this, but I'm so glad that so many people jumped on them to say, hey, she wasn't soaking it all in. And if she was doing it with who she considers her Lord and Savior, which is Jesus Christ.
A lot of people say that believers, we're pretending like we're persecuted and that this society isn't rigged against Christians. And I just scoff and laugh at that and say you'd have to be blind as a bat. Virtually everything that's going on in modern culture is hostile to traditional Christianity and those values, all the way down to, and again, ESPN's pandering over social media, which I consider the most secular place on the planet, Twitter. And it's like there is a penalty for wearing your faith. ESPN's caught in a trick bag as it relates to Coco Gauff because she's a woman and she's black. She checks a couple of boxes they love to celebrate, but they're not going to celebrate or delve into what role her faith plays in her success. That's a big part of the reason why I wanted to get away from corporate media. I found that I was allowed to talk about my faith, talk about God and Jesus, but there was a price I was going to pay for that, and that people weren't happy. Just leave God out of that. That's too polarizing, or it's just not on message for what we're comfortable promoting. It's just I'm just really sad, and particularly as it relates to sports, because faith has always been a big part of sports. They used to go together like peanut butter and jelly, and now they're being separated. And I just hope the athletes are paying attention.
When you say faith and sports go together, it took me back to high school. Our girls basketball team, they would sing the most beautiful rendition of the Lord's Prayer headed to basketball games. And it was one of the things that a lot of us look forward to. Like, even if they were gathered in a classroom together and they started to sing it, it just was. And so you're absolutely right. It went together and people had no issue with it a long time ago, just as we used to pray in schools and they took that out. But for anyone to say that Christians aren't being persecuted, they're just actually lying. You know, I walked away from the church years ago. I was very comfortable in just living my life, not worrying about, you know, the word or the Bible or Christians or any of that. But I will say what kind of made me say, whoa, 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 was the persecution that I saw Christians having to endure. We don't persecute people believing in crystals. We don't persecute people that, you know, want to put a little drop of blood in something and do a little chant. They get no persecution. But I see all the time how Christians are ridiculed online. Oh, you believe in some sky daddy, or oh, you believe in make-believe, or oh, consistently. And I don't see them harassing any other group of religious people the way Christians are harassed. So for someone to say that's not the case, they're just simply turning a blind eye to it, because you can see it clear as day every day, and it's just out there. And so yeah, it is sad, but you know, nobody should be surprised. You know, if you feel like we're in the last days, if you believe in the Bible, this is what the Bible has told us will happen.
Shamika, great job and thank you. Those of you watching, if you like this content and you want to see more of it, 2 things I need you to do. Leave a comment, tell us what you think. And also, I want you to support one of our great sponsors, Preborn. All you have to do on your cell phone, pound 250, say the keyword baby, or you can donate to Preborn the Jason Whitlock way, preborn.com/Jason. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of Fearless.